brings you home.
Whoa, for the longest time, for the longest I don't know. What else can I do? I'm so inspired by you. Hello, new friend. I see you. So get this. Saw this on the news. Uncle cancels his niece's college fund after he discovers she's been targeting him with a cruel prank. Man, remind me not to be a YouTuber with that family, huh? So, Norm Macdonald, huh? Such a shame that he died. He's a big fan. You know, sometimes it happens. Some of your heroes pass away, unexpectedly. They have an illness for a long time, and we don't know anything about it. Sometimes it's mental, sometimes it's physical. I think it took a lot of guts for him not to admit it. So much better.
Josh is a comedy collective, a United Artists, if you will. Uniting myself, Reggie Watts, Michael Cera, and Tim and Eric. And what do? We do whatever we dream up. We shoot it, and it goes on there. We can fail, we can do well. It's total freedom.
No offense, but it sounds like that's some fucking commie gobbledygook.
He once said.
Hey, you want to be?
That,
Josh is a.
He once said that what really got him into doing comedy was that he really didn't have anything better to do, and I swear that was the funniest thing I ever heard. Usually like a comedian would say, I got into comedy for this and this and that, and a little sob story. Hey, what's up, Philip? How are you, brother? How are you, man? It's good to have you in here, bro. Thank you for coming. Yeah, do you know any good Norm Macdonald stories or any good jokes from him? It kind of really devastated me when I saw the news a few days ago. It was just, and I was in the middle, like, usually when people like say their story of why they got into something and into a certain career, they kind of have this little slog sob story. Even the funniest comedians do that, but he just went up there once. He said, "Well, I guess I had nothing better to do," and I went up there in college. I did a show. I had nothing better to do, so I just went up there, and that was the story. And that was the story of Norm Macdonald. So yeah, he was absolutely the best, one of the greatest comedians ever. So yeah, how are you, Philip? Another thing would he went on David Letterman for the last time, and I will never forget. There's two things I'll never forget from that set. Was the beginning of the set that he did on David Letterman. He said, like, all these people are talking about how, yeah, I know it's been a big day, man. I saw your podcast, bro. Just hang in there, bro. Something happened to me, just like how you did in like in the dollar store that you went to, but it wasn't a dollar store. It was actually online. And I was like, I was stalking this woman, but she was friendly with me. So I kind of took it like, oh, I'm simping for this woman. Yeah, this was a few years ago, and she was a really beautiful woman. I worked with her, and like something like possessed me into thinking that, like, well, we probably might have had something together. And I kind of stalked her on Instagram, and I kind of liked her on Instagram and all that stuff. And and then I haven't read her. This was before I discovered stories. Click on the stories and the pictures, and I went on her story, and she was looking hot. She had this dress on that made her look 10 times hot. And then the next picture was her and her fiance. And have you ever had and that kind of really crippled me a little bit because I couldn't sleep after I saw that. I was just really depressed, and I just needed someone to talk to after I saw something like that. So I kind of related to that Dollar Tree story, and and when you I know, yeah, like, this is my fiance, haha. Like, seriously, shit, man. At least, I mean, yeah, it was like that, but you sounded smoother in that story than how I would have took it. So, all right, bro. Thank you for checking in. so. So yeah, who's ever still here? Yeah, in the beginning of the story, he told a joke about how, like, everybody was feared about the terrorists, and like how there's another war coming and blah blah blah, and like North Korea and all that stuff. And then he went up and he did this whole special on uh, or no, so then he stepped up and he said, like, you know what, all this talk about these people, the North Koreans, all the war happening, who I'm afraid of? The Germans. And like, yeah, because like the first time uh, the Germans, when it didn't go into war with a country, they went into war with the whole world, and it won. They almost won, and it only took them a few seconds. And the second time, they took over a whole continent and started another war. With the new guy, what's his name? He went, ah. And when people say, well, what's his name? And he goes, that just made everyone laugh. And then after the end of the set, he broke down emotionally, with Norm Macdonald with David Letterman. He said, he turned to David Letterman and he said, like, man, I know this is like your last week and you're coming your last week, and then he just like stopped, that stop when you cry, and and then he just kept going with it, and it was absolutely one of the greatest moments. It was a class act, and it was just absolutely like the greatest stand up ever, because he also does like this Machiavelli old fashioned kind of thing. He goes up there and he goes like he talks like a 1920s, but he goes on Conan, and he kind of made like this mock joke from his joke book on Conan, and then he goes like, so my wife told me. I told my wife the other day that I look in the mirror and I don't like what I see. I'm old and shaggy, and I just need someone to give me a compliment. Can someone give me a compliment? And my wife goes, yeah, I'll give you a compliment. Your eyesight is perfect. And I go, you dirty dog. Like absolutely like a quick like ending, like you dirty dog. Just absolutely one of the funniest. How he just delivers his "You Dirty Dog" was just screaming, like, I am too good for writing the jokes that the new guys are writing. I'm too good for this shit. So yeah, it was really, really one of the most hilarious guys ever. And like he would actually not talk he would not talk politics. He had a political show, but he would not talk politics. He like if Norm Macdonald was alive, and I'm not scratching I'm scratching behind my knee. It looks like it, but anyway, he would have laughed at both of the sides, man. He's that chill. He has like the most chill thing. He milked the booze he got. When he told like this controversial joke, he got booze, and he just would milk it. He would smile, and he would take a little victory out of that. Like any good comic that I was a fan of would take. He was just absolutely an amazing comedian. And my grandfather, who's not really hip with a lot of people, would like him too, and that's how it would go. And yeah, it just takes a strong man to just keep going, keep fighting it through the stage, even in personal life. He did not really depend on people or count on people to help him, even though they would have. He kept his illness a secret for so long. A lot of people were like, that's the thing about the coronavirus. When Alyssa Milano was like screaming in desperation for like approval, because she had COVID, she even tore like a piece of her hair off and said, "Look, this is like my like COVID hair, blah blah blah." And I'm just going like, look, a month after that, Chadwick Boseman passed away, and no one knew he had cancer, only his family. And during Black Panther, he was going through cancer. During Black Panther, and he didn't tell anybody. He went through surgery, doing his own stunts, some of it. And a year later, here's Norm Macdonald, who was fighting it for 9 years and didn't tell anybody. He didn't tell anybody that he was dying. And it takes a lot of I shouldn't say guts. He wasn't really showing his guts to anybody, but it takes a lot of class to not make a big thing about it, because he knows that Bill Maher said it best on Jimmy Kimmel, that the show business is about the people and not the other way around. So when he passed away, I kind of milked that in. He was a absolute class act, and I don't know. Talking to myself, it's okay. It's okay talking to yourself. There's nobody here. And plus, I think this is going to get published soon, so who's ever hearing about it, who's ever hearing this rant, I guess it's going to be. I just hope it's some people that actually give a shit, Not about me, but like the whole idea of it. So. Hello, fella. How's it going? Yeah, I see you. Yeah. I just figured like there's not going to be anybody here, so I'm just going to stream myself flipping through the channels, and it would be really interesting if we've seen like 5 minutes of that here. And yeah, that's okay. Can you believe about all these people, on TikTok?
This is how to get
just like, especially them, like people on TikTok just throwing food at hardworking fast food employees, man. That also really just grinds my gears. One of those TikTok. I mean, like, thank goodness for Ray William Johnson coming back and criticizing those people. It's just absolutely ridiculous how people act. Just to get views. I don't like. Even if it said like my life or my career depended on it, I would not disrespect people. So, I don't know. It's just a waste of human potential when you have a lot of views and then you just disrespect people and abuse people. So, no one's here. When you're a TikToker and this is the thing that's shameful in the world. Good YouTubers I've seen, underrated YouTubers, have done nothing wrong to people and nothing wrong to society. And then here comes some TikTokers going to like fast food restaurants and just throwing food at them, and disrespecting, and also going to stores and making a mess in the store and in the restaurant, which is really, really disrespectful. And it's kind of shameful how, like, this day and age, like, once again, underrated people don't have any views, like, don't have a big following, or who have, a dead channel or something like that. And, people who keep rising, they just become douchebags because I don't know, because it's just like the mediocrity is getting, like, masked by the good looks of that person. So it just kind of grinds my gears, and it's really ridiculous. It's the pettiness of life gets presented through social media, and it's disguised by a arrogant smile and a disrespectful act. That's what's really ridiculous. And I've been watching this on just unfold in many, many occasions, and it's just absolutely asinine that we just sit back and we let that happen, and then the, there's no just there's no right to do that. Just, you're a popular guy, and and because of the views you get, and because of the popularity you get, you keep acting like it's like high school. Like, you're a bully in high school because people egg you on and you project, and people egg you on to beat up a little nerdy kid, and and after that, like, it just keeps coming. It keeps coming because when you are, you never grew out of high school, and you never grew out of bullying people, if people egg you on in the social media of stuff. It's just really just, I don't know, puts like a splinter on my side, and it's just, oh, it's horrible. And you got a lot of people who are really, really, really just disrespectful, and that begats more disrespect upon people. It's just, this generation, and I hate to be a nihilist here, and I hate to put the vibe down. Anybody have a joke from Norm Macdonald that I like to share? This is probably not going to go to anybody right now. So if anybody has like a comment or something like that, go ahead and just write it down whenever you want, and I'd like to read it, because I like to think that I don't like to be alone in thinking that he was and I'm not alone. I mean, I've been seeing it from every celebrity out there and everything. He was the greatest. He was the greatest, but, like, alone in my friends or in my circle, which I don't have much of a circle, but that he was actually liked by other people in my circle. So just want people to know that he was great, and he shall rest in peace, so to speak. My oh god, I have a really horrible double chin. What was really funny is that, like, I was actually watching, like, Billy Madison, like, an hour before I got the news that he died, and it just really was like, wow, what a freaking coincidence that, like, I saw a movie that he's in, and an hour later he just passed away. Or an hour later I just heard that he passed away, because I heard he passed like 2 hours before I got the news. And as soon as I did that, I was like, listen, like, I gotta get on this train. I gotta get on this train of, like, memorials and all that stuff. It's really shit, man. So yeah, just let me know, and sometimes there are occasions out there that I get kind of numb from my mediocrity or my depression and my hopelessness. Because like I sometimes I'm laying down here on the sofa like I'm talking to a therapist, but sometimes I just get so numb with all the shit I go through. How I get numb is actually kind of a funny story. I get numb because I just know that there's like a door number 2, at the end of the tunnel. There's no end. There's 2 ends. There's one who goes like you're gonna be living forever, like you don't like being stomped on, depressed. Number 2, I could just simply just fade away from the public eye. I don't know how, or disappear. Just you can take that any way you want, So it just kind of irks me that sometimes that I kind of think that what if it's over. That loneliness kind of creeps up on me, and it's you kind of wonder why the hell do you even try? You see a lot of beautiful people out there. You see a lot of people and they have a significant other, and you kind of just hate yourself. You just can't sleep at night. And sometimes you go and think of all the regrets that you've done, and you think about the regrets more than you do the how you're living your life right now. Yeah, it's kind of sad that like when a depressed mind just doesn't really snap out of it, and I don't know, something to take away from all that stuff. Like Robin Williams, speaking of another dead comedian, or sorry to use like that, but for another comedian who's a nice guy, great guy, who has passed away. He had a lot of demons in him, and he didn't even share them all, and he did, but not that anybody cares. That's the thing about trying, is that sometimes when you try too hard, to accomplish something and it means crap, then you've exhausted everything in yourself, and then there's no way going back. You have nothing going back, and then when you don't try, you don't care, you don't have hope. That's the better thing. Just live with the hopelessness. Just live with it and accept it. When you accept the fact that you have nothing on the table and you can't, then you're actually better off, because at least you know that you weren't not doing anything in vain, on the way up there. So I guess I'll give myself a like tonight. It's gonna be the one like I have. Well, I'll give it on this end. Excuse me, and one memento, imaginary friends. There we go. One like. Past the point of no return. Well, anywho, I think I'm just going to cut this short here and wish everybody a good night. And, yeah. I hope my imaginary people here have a good night and Godspeed. I don't know if there's a God, so I shouldn't say that, but at the same time, well, if you believe in God, that's okay. And R.I.P. Norm. Truly, were the greatest comedian, or one of the best. Anyway, goodbye.